Hi, my name is Russ Gibson, and I'm here to talk to you today about a relationship that I'm ending. And it's with someone who's been really close to me over the years. The only problem is he's close with a lot of people. It's causing a lot of problems in people's lives. So I've decided that I'm just going to go ahead and alleviate the problem. Maybe I should introduce you to my friend. Say hello to Sugar. I think everybody has a relationship with Sugar. Pretty much a love-love relationship. But the reason why we're talking about this today is because of something that happened to me in 2009. I became very ill. And in working through this illness and getting better, I discovered that part of what I needed to do was change my diet. And it was amazing to me when I found out all of the things that sugar can do to your body. It's great. It's a wonderful thing. It's absolutely delicious. You think about all the cakes, the ice cream, the candy, it's just the gobs of things that we use sugar for. But in reality, it's really causing a lot of havoc on our body and our body's function in our system. Let me explain. Let me break this down for you. Sugar comes in two forms: simple sugars and complex sugars. Simple sugars are found in fruits and vegetables, most things that occur in nature. When we're talking about things that are edible, these simple sugars are burned by the body immediately, and the body knows and recognizes these simple sugars. Honey is also a common simple sugar. Now let's jump the fence and let's talk about the complex sugars. Okay, complex sugars are carbohydrates, but more importantly, sugar that's cut from the cane, manufactured and processed, bleached. The chemical transformation of this product is causing a lot of havoc on the body. Now, let me explain. Since you were very small, you've been eating sugar. The body only needs maybe 2 teaspoons of sugar a week. But we have almost 20 times that amount on a daily basis. What it does to the body starts with the pituitary gland. Once the system sees that there's sugar in the body, it must determine whether it's a simple sugar or whether it's a complex sugar. If it's a simple sugar, it gets burned. If it's a complex sugar, the pituitary gland must tell the pancreas to manufacture and release insulin into the body to deal with the amount of sugar that's coming in. What has happened is, over the years, ever since you were a child, there's a tolerance and there's been an addiction that has built up, to the point to where even if we were to cut back for a month and only put a teaspoon of sugar in our bodies per week, the body's been manufacturing insulin so long and pumping out insulin so long that it's going to send out the same amount. As soon as it detects the sugar in the system, it's going to send out the same amount of insulin, the flood of insulin that it is accustomed to sending out, regardless of how much sugar is in the system. When we talk about sugar making you sick, we talk about diabetes. We are now hearing conversations about cancer cells feeding off sugar. But more importantly, when we go back to diabetes, and we talk about diabetes and the manufacturing and the releasing of the large amounts of insulin from the body, that state is called hyperinsulinism and hyperinsulating. And literally your pancreas breaks. It shuts down. It no longer produces insulin, which is why you have to have the insulin shots. If we are talking about losing weight and how this affects us losing weight, we're not going to have any weight loss if the body is looking at the complex sugar and automatically storing it, which is what it's doing. It knows it's not a simple sugar, so it's going to factor it as a complex sugar and it's going to store it. And just the way the body is addicted to hyperinsulating and sending the flood of insulin, the body is going to store it, and it's not going to touch it. It's going to store the sugar, and it's not going to touch it. The only way it's going to touch it is if you burn through the body's 48 hours worth or reserve of sugar. So imagine a bucket. It's got 48 hours worth of sugar in it. You must deplete sugar from your diet and cause the body to burn through that 48 hours of sugar before it will change gears, and the chemical change will take place in the body. And instead of the pituitary releasing a hormone causing the pancreas to release insulin, the pituitary gland begins to release a product called ketones. Ketones instruct the organs of the body, instructs the burning mechanisms of the body. Go burn all the stored fat. Go burn it all. So as long as you lower sugar amounts, you're active, you've got a metabolism going on. If you cut out your sugar, you can change the body, you can force the body to burn off that stored fat. And you don't have to carry it around anymore. Some friends came to me at the beginning of the year and they said, Russ, you've lost weight. How can I do what you're doing? And I said, cut out all the sugars, drink as much water as you can, and exercise. The first young lady I gave this regimen to, she started in January 2015. She's lost 55 pounds so far. It's the bottom of the year. She's lost 55 pounds so far and hasn't worked out a day. The second person I've given this to has been using it for probably about 3 months. She's dropped 42 pounds. She's on the regimen and working out. The last gentleman is a very good friend of mine, contacted me and said, Russ, I've been working out for a month. I've only dropped like 5 pounds. What's the problem? Burn through your 48, deplete the sugar, reincorporate the sugar later on, months down in the road, but alleviate as much sugar as you can. You must increase your metabolism and burn more than you're taking in. That was a month ago. He's now lost like 25 pounds. So understand how this affects the body. Be careful with sugar. It's a wonderful thing, but everything in moderation is cautioned. You've really got to be careful with sugar. It can damage you, and the fact that they're discovering that cancer cells can feed off sugar is just a whole nother ball game altogether. Be careful with sugar, ladies and gentlemen. I have been sharing this information with as many people as I can because I believe there's a change that needs to take place. We are looking at, as a country, we are looking at it at getting healthier, and we see it happening. People are becoming more active. I'm seeing more and more people coming out when I'm walking. It's something that needs to happen. It's something that we need to change here in the United States to correct the problem of obesity. But this guy right here, he's the culprit. And until we learn how to deal with this and get around it and break the addiction, because that's what it is. It's an addiction. Break the addiction. You know, we're going to continue to see the problems that we're having with our health issues. I know the difference. I know the information. I've got it. I accept it. I understand it. I've made changes. I hope you'll decide to do the same. Thank you very much for listening today. That concludes my show. Thank you. Russ Gibson. Have a good day, guys.